It was just another calm afternoon at the transaction office, until everything exploded into chaos. A masked man stormed in, brandishing a gun and shouting demands: phones, cash, gold rings, anything of value. Terrified employees froze as the tension filled the air. But just as the robber moved further inside, the security guard acted on instinct, opening fire in self-defense. The sudden gunfire sent the thief scrambling for the exit, but fate had other plans. Before he could escape, a brave man lunged forward, slamming the robber against the wall and forcing the weapon from his hands. Others quickly joined in, subduing the would-be criminal and holding him down until authorities arrived. It started as a quick stop at a gas station, something she'd done countless times before. But one small mistake changed everything. The mother had left her keys in the ignition, and her baby still inside. In an instant, a thief jumped behind the wheel and sped off. Panic struck, but this mother's fear turned into raw determination. With no time to think, she leapt onto the hood of the moving car, pounding on the windshield and screaming for her child. The thief swerved and accelerated, desperately trying to throw her off, but she refused to let go. Her grip, fueled by pure maternal instinct, never wavered. Realizing he couldn't shake her, the thief abandoned the vehicle and fled. The mother managed to bring the car to a stop, collapsing in tears of relief as she held her baby safely in her arms. This heart-stopping moment is proof that there's nothing more powerful or more fearless than a mother's love. What began as an ordinary day at a bustling travel agency quickly descended into chaos when two armed robbers burst through the doors. With cold precision, they aimed their guns at terrified employees, shouting, "Don't do anything stupid if you want to stay alive." But this was no simple robbery. The criminals demanded access to secured computers, forcing staff to unlock connected systems so they could siphon funds directly from bank accounts. As tension filled the room, nearby witnesses realized something was terribly wrong and alerted authorities. Within minutes, police surrounded the building, weapons drawn, ready to act at any moment. Then, just as the situation reached its breaking point, the robbers realized escape was impossible. They laid down their guns and surrendered. A woman was calmly refueling her car when chaos erupted in an instant. A thief suddenly jumped into the driver's seat and tried to steal her vehicle. But before the criminal could make his getaway, a courageous bystander sprang into action. Without hesitation, he rushed toward the car, confronting the thief head-on in a tense and dangerous struggle. The two wrestled for control as the engine roared, the moment teetering between disaster and heroism. Eventually, the thief managed to break free and fled on foot, leaving the stolen car and his plan behind. Bravery and quick action can make all the difference, but safety must always come first. Always stay alert, even in seemingly ordinary moments. A romantic date night turned into a nightmare for Caspian and Isabel Sheen when a masked gunman ambushed them at their own doorstep. Armed with a rifle, the intruder lunged at the couple just as they entered their home. In a split second of sheer instinct and courage, Caspian fought back. A fierce struggle broke out, and against all odds he managed to wrestle the rifle from the attacker's hands and subdue him before anyone was seriously hurt. The suspect, identified as Eddie Walker, was later arrested and sentenced to 11 years in prison. For weeks, law enforcement had been on the trail of a dangerous fugitive wanted for a string of serious crimes. Thinking he could outsmart the system, the suspect continued to move freely, unaware that every step he took was being watched. Behind the scenes, undercover officers had already laid out a meticulous plan. Disguised as ordinary citizens, they blended into the crowd, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. When the fugitive finally appeared, the trap snapped shut. In a coordinated ambush, officers closed in from all sides, swift, silent, and unstoppable. The criminal was taken down within seconds, stunned and unable to resist. A daring daylight robbery took an unexpected and downright hilarious twist when two armed thieves stormed into a fashion store, waving their weapons and barking threats. But the shopkeeper wasn't panicking. With the calm precision of a chess master and the cunning of a movie villain, he played along, pretending to cooperate just long enough to lure the robbers deeper inside. Then came the move that turned the tables. With a swift pull, he rolled down the metal shutter from the outside, locking them in like two confused mannequins trapped in their own crime scene. Minutes later, he returned with the police, probably humming a victory tune, ready to collect his real-life buy one, get two thieves deal.
No, weón. Llegó la policía, llegó la policía. Ya, 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 tranquilo.
A quiet trip to a neighborhood grocery store turned into a moment of chaos and courage. A man and his young son were shopping for their family when an armed robber suddenly stormed in, waving a gun and shouting threats. But the father's instincts kicked in instantly. Acting out of pure protection, he lunged at the attacker with fearless determination, tackling him to the ground before the criminal could make a move. Stunned and overpowered, the robber scrambled to his feet and bolted from the store, leaving empty-handed and defeated. A father's instinct to protect his child is stronger than fear, and sometimes that courage is enough to stop evil in its tracks. In this tense encounter, a man uses Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, BJJ, techniques to protect himself from an armed attacker. Instead of panicking, he stays calm, moves in quickly, and gains control of the weapon hand. By using simple leverage and positioning, he's able to disarm and restrain the attacker before anyone gets seriously hurt. It's a powerful reminder of how training and composure can make a real difference when danger strikes.